Our job, I believe, from a Tenable perspective, is to start incorporating more Gen AI sort of functionality to make it more efficient for our users, to make better use of the data that we're collecting and the insights that we're providing.
With attackers constantly finding new ways to breach organizations, security teams struggle to keep up. I'm Kenna Johnson from the Channel Company, and I'm joined by Glen Pendley, Chief Technology Officer from Tenable, to talk about how they're leveraging AI to stay ahead of attackers. Welcome, Glen.
Thank you for having me.
Tenable is known as the exposure management company. What does that mean, and how does Tenable One address this?
What exposure management is and what we're trying to accomplish with exposure management, it's an evolution of what we've always, tried to do, is enable customers and to do a better job of proactively secure their environment. Historically, security tools have always been kind of best of breed, focusing on one part of the attack surface, quantifying risk within their little purview. With exposure management, what we're trying to do is treat it more like a big data problem by pulling as much data together from across the entire attack surface in order to more holistically quantify what I call objective security truths. So an example of that could be, let's say you have a cloud security product, and let's imagine for a second that you've magically secured your entire cloud environment with your cloud security product. However, you and I might be the people managing your cloud. The hygiene of our laptops, the fact that we click on every link in our inbox, like the impact to the business extends past each individual siloed part of the attack surface. So exposure management is just the process of treating it, like I said, as a big data problem and trying to programmatically identify relationships and quantify better risk.
AI is the buzzword of the year in cyber circles. What's Tenable's approach, and how are you leveraging AI?
So we've been using AI for quite a while. We started a data science team about 6 or 7 years ago, and over the years, we've actually released a number of different methods via AI to better quantify risk and identify things. One of those is our vulnerability priority rating, which essentially is an AI model that predicts the likelihood of a vulnerability being exploited in the next 28 days. We've had that out for like 4 or 5 years now. We actually predict that within a 25% success rate, which is actually pretty good when it comes to straight prediction. But with the introduction of Gen AI, and everybody knows ChatGPT, and like you said, it's the buzzword of the day, I think it gives us actually an amazing opportunity to lower the bar and enable more people to get more value out of security products. So Gen AI, essentially for everybody that uses it, it's just efficiency. Like things that anybody could have done before, you could just do it much easily, much more quickly. That means the bad guys can be much more efficient. Our job, I believe, from a Tenable perspective, is to start incorporating more Gen AI sort of functionality to make it more efficient for our users, to make better use of the data that we're collecting and the insights that we're providing.
How does this benefit your partners and customers?
To kind of go back to the point, right now they're up against, attackers that are going to become much more efficient in doing reconnaissance, identifying potential new 0 days. So as the bad guys become much more efficient, they're going to rely on folks like security vendors to do a better job of making them more efficient. So if you can gather more insights by just talking to the system, your security tools, and how you, instead of making very specific queries, like show me this IP address, but how at risk am I today? Like those sort of things, and being able to leverage Gen AI to take the natural language, everyday sort of conversation, and through fine-tuning models and stuff, be able to generate actual insights that more drive efficiency back into it so they can be just as efficient as the bad guys.
Glen, finally, what is upcoming? How will Tenable solidify its space in the exposure management market?
That's a great question. Well, I'm excited to share that, for the last year and a half, we've been working diligently behind the scenes, treating this exposure management concept like a big data problem, like I mentioned earlier, by pulling all of this data together into a single platform that we're calling the exposure graph. From there, with these relationships, ExposureAI layer on top of it sits. This is where all our machine learning AI models are sitting, where we're decorating all this data to be able to do a much more fully functioned job of enabling our customers to better secure their environment.
Glen, thank you so much for your time today. If you'd like to learn more about Tenable, visit the website on your screen. For the Channel Company, I'm Kenna Johnson.